Hi, legends. Sorry, I ran a little bit late, but I'm here. Just had some technical issues that I had to quickly sort out. What is happening with the price of Bitcoin? Can we expect a bounce soon? Okay, based on my technical analysis this morning during my pre-recorded video that I sent out, it looks like we did hit a important level here that I did highlight this morning. Will we get the bounce, or will we continue the stairs here to the downside? Smash up the like on your way in. Let's get the party started over here. Another thing I want to highlight, legends, is during the end of the show, or more or less towards the end of the show, I want to open up the platform to you, the legends, the community. Okay, I'm going to put myself on full screen during the end of the stream, and we're just going to open it up to Q&A. Anything you guys want to ask me from a trading perspective, from a psychological perspective, some of the mistakes, things to look out for, any questions that you've always wanted to ask from a trading perspective. I'm just going to open up the floor and let you guys ask, and I will try and answer as many questions as I can. And so I will keep that for the end of the stream, and I just want to set the stage that there is no such thing as a dumb question. Okay, we all here to learn, and we all have most probably made some of the mistakes, and some of us still need to make some of those mistakes, or are potentially still going to make some of those mistakes, and hopefully we can learn from each other so that we don't make the same trading mistakes, and we can fast track our learning process. Okay, so towards the end of the session, if you are an experienced trader and you are successful from a daily perspective, from a month to month, year to year, by all means, jump off the stream. I want to open it up to all the newbies. Any stupid question, dumb question, it doesn't exist. We're just going to go through those questions towards the end of the stream. So smash up the like. Let's get the party started. And let me share my screen over here. Okay. Just want to make sure that I'm nice there in the center. Right, this is where we are. I just want to go back here onto the 4-hour time frame and see what has changed. I've been out for the day, so I'm only looking at the chart literally now, and I see where we are currently getting the bounce. Okay, we're currently getting a bounce. Okay, I won't even really call it a bounce yet, but a small little bounce here by the 382 together with the highs over here, okay, that's offering support here at the moment, and also the diagonal resistance, which most traders from a breakout perspective thinks we've lost. So if I go back onto the 15-minute time frame, this is where a lot of breakout traders trade here to the downside. Okay, they trade here the breakout to the downside, and now they have the risk of being stopped out, right? Just want to make sure that I just put my foot back to where it's supposed to be. But I always have to highlight, legends, purely from an education perspective, that horizontal supports, okay, horizontal supports and resistances takes priority over diagonal supports and resistances. I always look at horizontals first before I look at trends. And when they converge like that, when you have horizontal and a trend converging like that, that little pivot there in the middle usually offers great support or resistance, depending on whether you're going up or down. Okay, let me say hi to the community before we jump into the analysis. I see we're getting a little bit of a pump here to the upside. Also, when I looked at the CVD, okay, here on the smaller time frame, I'm just looking at CVD here on the 5-minute time frame. Let me just refresh it, making sure that everything is as it's supposed to be, because sometimes this CVD template does stuff around. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is absolutely insane. Okay, we have a massive dump here to the downside, but then we took the low. So we had the dump here to the downside with this momentum here. Okay, but now it's been invalidated because we took the low, and now we're currently forming bearish CVD. So I don't know, right? This is a little bit confusing to me, is that we are forming bearish CVD with this momentum up. We formed bearish CVD against this pivot, and we are now forming bearish CVD with this momentum here to the upside. Will it hold? Okay, as soon as we can take this high over here, I would say, okay, then maybe we have a chance. It's going to get invalidated. Okay, and maybe we can find some upwards momentum. I just don't like the 𝗬𝗍CVD building up here at the moment. Just want to see. Okay, so we had 𝗬𝗍CVD against those two pivots, and we took the low. Let's see, legends, welcome to the live stream. Let's get into it. Mr. Hishan, awesome, welcome to the live stream. Hi. And Dean Turner, it's turned around. Okay. Hi, Yacosta. Hello, Devil. Thanks for the TA and education. Got in a short at $63,000, 700. 63,700. Ooh, nice little short here to the downside. So you shorted basically in this zone over here. Oh, that was based on the technical analysis that I discussed yesterday. Yesterday during the stream, I did end the stream by saying, okay, we were trading over. Yeah, we were trading literally over here, and I said the probabilities are much higher, okay, or higher to take the low before we take the highs again. And that is what we did. We got a bounce, and it looked like we wanted to break up, and then we just lost the level. But we literally, as per the thumbnail, that's why I put the stairs there in the thumbnail. It's really confusing fall here to the downside. It's just been grinding slowly. And what you would expect, if this is a potential Bart Simpson pattern over here, you would expect the head, the hair, and you would want a fall here to the downside. So this price action, I'm not going to lie, it's been very confusing here to the downside. Expecting a harder fall, faster, where it stops, it finds support, and it continues the momentum to the upside. So this has just been such boring price action here to the downside. And this is usually caused, I did a little bit of research on this price action, and this is usually caused by great demand, okay? And you can also see from the CVD that there's great demand and liquidity created beneath each low, and then price, okay, struggles to get up, and there's lots of retail buying the dips, okay? Market makers keeps on trying to push the price down. It keeps on grabbing the liquidity. So this is a massive fight here between the bulls and the bears at the moment. And this is why we didn't get that dump. There is just so much demand at these levels based on all the bullishness I see all over social media and all the YouTube influencers at the moment, where everyone's just saying, buy the dip, we're going into the bull market. Okay, and you can see it here in the price action as well. It's not falling, it's just struggling to find its way down. But the probabilities was always there, regardless of how we fell here to the downside. When you have a range low, okay, I'm sure I spoke about this yesterday during my stream. When you have a range low, the rule of the strategy is very simple. When you tap this level for the first time, you want price to move away, which it did. It claimed the highs. Beautiful trade. Okay, you always claim the highs. And then when you tap it multiple times, so you come back and you tap it for a second time, you increase the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency, which we have now done. Okay, there's still a little bit left of this inefficiency, but we have to acknowledge that there's strong support here above these highs. Okay. What else? So, I mean, we have to acknowledge, if I zoom out here, go back onto the 4-hour time frame, just do a quick recap of what I discussed this morning. Okay, when we look at this entire structure over here on the 4-hour time frame, right, this is where we're currently getting the bounce, basically connecting the trend here with these pivots. Okay, we're getting a bounce here together with a 382, definitely a bouncing zone. I don't know whether this bounce is going to take us to claim the highs, or whether it's just going to give us a lower high and fall back down. I will discuss some of the probabilities of scenarios that I am watching at the moment. Okay. Log scale or regular scale? I think I am here on the regular scale at the moment. Okay. Let's just look at logarithmic here. Logarithmic will also tap the 382. Okay, to perfection. Right. Regular, we also tap the 382 to perfection. Well, the logarithmic looks better, just tapping the 382 there to perfection. So, okay, on smaller time frames, I'm not too concerned about regular or logarithmic. I know a lot of people make a big fuss out of logarithmic and regular. All I can tell you is logarithmic works really nice on larger time frames. Okay, daily, weekly, monthly charts. I would say even 12-hour charts, they work extremely well because it just puts the price action into perspective from a percentage perspective. If you're trading on smaller time frames like the 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute time frame, you can stick to regular. Okay, the analysis is perfectly fine and sound. Right, I did find on some of the altcoins, switching between logarithmic and regular does make an impact from a trend line perspective. So sometimes I will switch even on smaller time frames on some of the altcoins on logarithmic because it gives me a better trend line. Okay, right. But on Bitcoin, it's perfectly fine to use regular. Okay, let's not confuse the trading scenarios over here. So currently getting the bounce here at the 382. What I would like to see, okay, if I go back here onto the 15-minute time frame, I would like to see us break this trend. Okay, and I mean, even if it's a fake out to the upside, I always say I don't care if it's a fake out, I can still trade the fake out. Whether we have a fake out or whether we have a breakout that's going to come and claim the high, I don't care. I can make money towards the upside because my trading strategy tells me that when I take a fib from the high to the low that we've made over here, and this is indeed where we are going to turn around, I know where I need to take profits. Okay, I am not a trader that's just going to enter a trade over here. Okay, or you enter wherever you've entered with great risk management, wherever you need to put your stop loss so you don't get stopped out, you don't risk more than what you can afford to lose. I am not the type of trader that's just going to say that, wow, this looks bullish, I've entered, I've caught the bottom, now wait for all-time high. Well, not all-time high, I wait for the local high here to be claimed. And then price comes, you know, oh, wow, this looks great. It breaks out. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. You get to the 382, you get a little bit of a rejection, you form a higher low. Great, price looks great, and then you get to the 618 and price goes bam, stops you out. Okay, you were in nice profits and you kick yourself for not taking profits on the way up. Okay, so I pay myself as a trader. Usually when we get here, okay, I like to start taking, I nibble sometimes at a little bit of profits here by the 382 to cover fees. And then by the 50%, I will close a portion of the position. And usually, depending on the price action and CVD that I see, I will either close my position at the 0.618 or close at least 80% of the position and leave 20% of the position open for higher levels. Okay, that's just part of my trading strategy, especially if I start spotting bearish CVD on the way up. If I start seeing bearish CVD against certain pivots, higher pivots, if I start seeing bearish CVD, I will close my position at the 0.618. Okay, I don't want to see, I want to see this grind up here. Okay, locally, I want to see bullish CVD forming, constant bullish CVD, where I know, okay, maybe I can close 50% of the position and leave another 50 open for higher levels to come. Right, smash up the like for the education. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Remember, if you'd like to come and trade with me, down in the description, as always, you know the drill, is the exchanges with the links that I use. It's also your way to support the channel. Larger sign-up bonus, no KYC required here on Bluffin, reduction in your trading fees if you use Bybit, and also 𝗖𝗍cie with the lowest fees at the moment. Okay, so down in the description, that's where you find the links to sign up with. And then also, if you'd like to come and join our Legends trading community, first link down in the description. Okay, let's get back into this price action. Nice rejection. I mean, I say nice rejection like I want the price to reject. Okay, so let's see what happens over here. I just want to look at local CVD. Okay, I did say I don't like the bearish CVD that's currently building up here. One thing I have to highlight, okay, when I look at the structure, I'm not sure if I mentioned it during my update this morning, is let's just clean up the chart a little bit over here. Okay, the one thing I just have to highlight, and I'll get to some of the scenarios now, is that, and this is something that I discussed with the Legends trading community this morning, is that I see everyone on social media, every YouTube influencer, every chart that I've been looking at, everyone saying that we're going to get a bounce in this zone. Okay, everyone is looking at this bound area for a bounce. for an epic bounce to the upside. Okay. And for those of you that's been following me for a while, you know that when everyone is waiting for an area, you either front run it, and I was hoping that the front run was going to happen at this level over here where I've got SFP. We didn't get the front run. There was just too many longs entering. We got some berry CVD, and I posted on our Legends Discord community to say, guys, I'm not taking the long. It doesn't look good. There's berry CVD. There's too many people watching the area for possible long. So the scenario that I was watching is to say that when everyone is waiting for an area to get a bounce, you either front run it or you scare the crap out of them, stopping them out and making them too scared to re-enter the position. Because if you fall down here, right, even here to the 786, retail hands are going to be too scared to buy. They're going to be like, oh, we've lost the level. It's gone. It's out. No, it's not going anywhere. We're going down. We're going to come and claim the lows. I'm not entering. And then you get the bounce to the upside. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a fake out, even if we get a bounce to the upside. So what I would like to see in the structure, and I'll explain it now in a little bit more detail, is that I would like to see a fake out and another low. Okay, and the reason I would like to see price action like this is because of the following. Okay, I'll get to the comments in a moment. If we are indeed in a leading diagonal that I've highlighted, okay, during a couple of my streams already, if we are indeed in a leading diagonal, all the structures inside of the leading diagonal has to be three-wave structures. Okay, what I don't like, okay, let me go here onto the 1 hour time frame. What I don't like about this structure here to the downside is that I cannot see a clear three-wave structure, right? I was hoping this would have given me more confidence if we had the low, we had a higher low, and we had a dump to the downside. I wanted to see a clear three-wave structure to the downside. And at the moment, what I'm seeing here is just a dump to the downside. So ideally, what I would like to see is a bounce, a fake out, you make a lower high, and then you fall again. Maybe here by the 50% or 618, this is where you find support. Because then I'm going to see a clear three-wave structure, because a leading diagonal has to have three-wave structures. This fall here to the downside does concern me a little bit. And I suppose if you do zoom into the 1 minute and 5 minute time frames, perhaps you can count a three-wave structure inside of here. For me, it just looks like stairs to the downside. Okay, I don't see a clear three-wave structure, because in a leading diagonal, okay, let me just draw it out here for you guys. When you have a leading diagonal, you have to have three-wave structures. Three-wave structure, three-wave structure, three-wave structure, three-wave structure, three-wave structure, and then you fall to the downside. And hopefully the fall to the downside is also a three-wave structure. A leading diagonal has to have multiple three-wave structures inside of it. Okay, so the one concerning thing about this structure here to the downside is that if we are going to keep on falling, okay, if we are not going to find support in this zone, and that's why I'm saying that if so many people are looking for longs in this zone, okay, perhaps it's going to be a fake out to the upside. You just need to pay yourself on the way up, because you might not claim this high. So if we do get a bounce here to the upside, I will definitely be taking profits on the momentum up, because it can still be a three-wave structure for continuation to the downside. Maybe we bounce here by the 50% fit level. Okay, 618. Also don't mind if we bounce by the 618, but I want to see a three-wave structure, because this just looks straight down to me. Okay, I mean, not like this, but I mean, I can't clearly count the three-wave structure in here. And the reason this looks concerning for me is if I go back here onto the 4 hour time frame, if I cannot count a clear three-wave structure in this fourth wave here to the downside, this fourth wave to the downside, and we stop and we keep on falling here, and we keep on falling here to the downside, it increases the probabilities that this is not a leading diagonal anymore. This is something else, okay? And something else is potentially this. Okay, a WXY, right? We have completed the Y wave, the corrective structure here to the upside, and no three-wave structure inside here, and we keep on falling, 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 falling to come and claim the low. Definitely a possibility. So I would like to see a bounce in this area, maybe a lower high for continuation to the downside. Three-wave structure, three-wave structure, three-wave structure, fall. That's what I would like to see. After we have a three-wave structure here, another three-wave structure to the upside, then I will say game on, okay? Even with the bounce, I would expect a higher low to be formed, potentially even below this low over here. It doesn't have to be deep, but it can go all the way to the 786. I just want to see if I take a fib here from the low to the high. I mean, the 618 is actually a beautiful bouncing zone because it has confluence with this pivot, and you will grab all of the beautiful liquidity below this pivot over here as well. So I hope what I'm saying here makes sense. You know, sharing some of my thoughts, what I'm looking out for, why I want to see a three-wave structure, because if we're all betting on that leading diagonal for bullish momentum to continue to the upside, okay, I mean, the market is here to surprise us, and potentially, you know, maybe I can't see it, and maybe it's inside of the smaller time frames. Maybe there is already a three-wave structure inside of here. It just doesn't look like a clear three-wave structure. I mean, when I look at, let me just take this out the way. Okay, I just want to clean it up here. When you look at this structure, clear three-wave, 1, 2, 3, beautiful three-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Where's the three-wave structure? Okay, you guys get what I'm saying. You can count multiple clear three-wave structures, especially on the larger time frames, like the 4-hour time frame. Okay, this just looks like one wave, you know, like, yeah, it looks like one wave. Right, but I suppose you guys get the point that I'm trying to drive across, is that I want to see a three-wave structure. Okay, and I do not want to see us claim this low with this momentum here to the downside that we're currently experiencing. We should not claim this low just as yet before taking the high. If we're going to fall down here, and I know the price action is still a little bit far away, but I'm telling you now, if we're going to fall down here, okay, just fall down here, and we tap this low, we increase the probabilities that the bullish scenario is out the window. And this is a WXY, and we're going to continue to find downwards momentum to come and claim this low. So from a structural perspective, this is what I would like to see. We have to claim the high first before we claim the low for the bullish momentum and the bulls to stay in control. If we're going to claim the low here first, the bulls are losing massive probabilities for bullish continuation here to the upside. Okay, what else? Let's go through some comments over here. Ghost Levi, welcome to the live stream. No bounce. Looks like we're currently getting a bounce here by the 382. I do like it. We haven't tapped the 0.236 yet, but we are getting, you know, when you take a fib from the low to the high, and let me just maybe switch off this bearish scenario. Just now it brings some bad vuju here. Okay, we are currently getting a little bit of a bounce. Okay, we are at diagonal support, we are at the 382, and we are also above the highs over here. Okay, also above the highs, so definitely a possibility for a bounce over here. What I don't like about the bounce is the bearish CVD building up here at the moment. So I would like for us to go and claim, I want to see us claim this high, okay, aggressively, not just tap it. We need to like properly claim it. If price can find the strength to move up here and we smash properly through it, I would say, okay, we have a chance for a nice little bounce here to the upside. but maybe it's still going to be a lower high, like I've explained. So maybe we get the bounce here to the upside and we fall down, right? So this is why it's important to pay yourself as a trader. If we do get the bounce here to the upside to come and claim the high over here, I would say, okay, maybe on the smaller time frame, there is a three-wave structure inside of it that I can't see clearly from a larger time frame perspective. Okay, but the important point is, once we claim the high over here, regardless of how this plays out, whether we make lower high and find continuation to the downside, which it looks three-wavy, which is still great, I don't mind having a three-wave structure, even if we claim the low over here, or we go and claim the high, which tells me, okay, at least we're not coming down to claim this low. So I can then still probably count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diagonal, okay? And then you want to see an A, B, C to the downside. Maybe bounce over there. Then the bulls still have a chance. Once we claim this high without claiming the low, the bulls have a chance. That's what you want to see. Okay, don't ask me how I know these things. it's just based on Elliott wave theory and studying the chart for charts and price action for many hours, thousands of hours. Okay, all right. Sin Games, welcome to the live stream. That's on the 5-minute CVD. Could see a small retest of the lows from today, maybe with that berry CVD. Yes, I mean, definitely a possibility. Even, you make a very good point, Mr. Sin Games, is that even, let me just take the pen over here, you're forming berry CVD against these two pivots. The target is the low, okay, over here. So always, this is how CVD works. Between the two pivots that you are spotting bearish CVD or bullish CVD, the lowest point between the two pivots is the target for the CVD. So if price falls down here and it's swing failures, okay, this is what I call a swing failure pattern. It breaks down, but it struggles. It gets acceptance back above the lows over here. The bearish CVD has played out. Done. It's played out. Okay, now you're looking for new CVD to form in this range going forward because this has played out. Right, so definitely a possibility where you struggle, okay? You struggle, you fall down, you SFP from the lows, you get acceptance back above, okay? Where you can see it's exhaustion. Price is struggling to break down, okay? It's not a proper breakdown, and that's why I'm saying if we come back up here, I want to see a proper breakout, not a tap and then you get acceptance back below, because that could definitely be the sign of continuation to the downside. So also what you want to see here is you want to see a tap and a reversal. Okay. I have also seen, I mean, price action changes by the minute, right? You see the bearish CVD over here. You're like, oh crap, man. Okay, this breakout doesn't look good. I know CVD and no indicator, anything that I know of is 100% accurate. Okay, each indicator has different levels of accuracy. I like the CVD because it's more accurate than not, but I have seen bearish CVD in the past. That looks bearish. It prevents people from entering the long because they see the bearish CVD. They're like, no, I'm not going to take the chance. It breaks the high. It invalidates the bearish CVD, and all of a sudden CVD drops. Okay, like what happened over here. Just look at this massive drop here. It just happens in minutes, right? And then, especially when you break out and you make this low over here, the price falls down here, this low that you make, and CVD just tanks down here, and you're like, crap, I missed the entry. Okay, I missed the entry, and then price leaves without you. That's why it's so important just to keep an eye on CVD, because especially the yellow line, the Bybit line, it changes in a heartbeat. Okay, so what I'm trying to highlight over here is no indicator is perfect, and sometimes the indicator will show you bearish CVD and it continues the momentum to the upside. Okay, I have seen that, not often, and this is why I use CVD, because it's more correct than not. Okay, I would say it has like 75 to 80% accuracy, which is great from a trading perspective. Anything over 70% is absolutely fantastic. Right, okay. So currently getting a little bounce here to the upside. So from a smaller time frame perspective, what I would like to see, the next step, okay, this all about a game of tick boxes for me, is that I want to see us break the trend. Okay, so the next step is let's break the trend successfully. Some nice green volume. Let's break the trend and then also come and claim these highs over here. I want to see us break through there. But we could also reject. And what would be nice, I know, we want to trade here to the upside, but I mean, you can make money with this momentum here to the upside. If we SFP from these highs in this zone, so if I take a fib here from the high to the low, okay, I would say 50% area, 382, not really the 382 because you want to claim the highs. So I would say the best area over there for a short, especially if bearish CVD keeps on building up with the price momentum here to the upside. The CVD just becomes more and more aggressive as price moves up here. I would definitely consider that this is forming a lower high. You have the fake out and you smack back down, and then we have finally a three-wave structure to the downside. And that's why it's so important when you play breakouts, okay, when you play the acceptance back inside the trend, maybe you entered here by the 382 from a swing failure perspective, and as long as you have good risk management, you protect your capital because the market is here to take it, right? Just know where to take profits. Yes, there's always the possibility that you do that. Definitely a possibility, but you need to pay yourself on the way up because you could definitely be forming a three-wave structure and come and take the lows again, especially if bearish CVD is still building up aggressively as price is moving up here. Okay. Right. Moha, could you explain more about bearish and bullish divs? Okay, so I've just gone through a little bit of that. I hope that explanation helped a little bit over there. Okay, but I will, like I've said during the beginning of the stream, I will dedicate the last couple of minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you guys want, okay, depending on the questions that come up, for Q&A. Anything that you would like to ask from a trading perspective, from a market psychology perspective, mistakes, lessons learned, personal questions for me, I'm more than happy to share a couple of personal questions if I feel comfortable, depending on how personal it gets. I will dedicate a couple of minutes towards the end of the stream just to take some Q&As from everyone. Okay. Right. Where are we? I just wanted to look at Fetch over here. I mean, Fetch has just done absolute phenomenal things here to the upside. Okay. I know I'm deviating here a little bit to the altcoins, but I mean, from the low over here, and even if you have an entry in this zone over here, if you manage to accumulate a little bit of Fetch, like myself, okay, you would be up, or you were up 71%, now currently up 56%. And we have to acknowledge from this price action here to the upside, okay, it does look like this could be a 1, 2, 3 because we tapped the 2.618. Usually when you start extending to the 2.618, you can think of this as a third wave where you're now potentially forming a fourth wave, another liquidity grab, and maybe then a deeper correction. And I mean, this is where you want to load up, okay? Like what happened with XRP. Everyone knows my XRP story, okay? I missed the trade to the upside purposefully because I wanted to see a higher low form. And then when that higher low formed on XRP, this is where I bought in for continuation to the upside. Right, but I mean, Fetch has been, the AI, it looks like AI is still the hot narrative for now, okay? I see that the AI ecosystem has been pumping the hardest with this little momentum here from Bitcoin to the upside. And even as Bitcoin fell here to the downside, there's some alts that still found, what's happening here? Strength to the upside. Amazing, right? Bitcoin falling, some alts pumping. Amazing, right? Okay. Right. Okay. Also, I spoke about the BETH ETC, the ETH over Bitcoin chart yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Also during my live stream today is to say that, yes, I mean, This looks really, really, really bullish. It looks like something is about to happen with the price of ETH. I think we just need to be a little bit more patient. I think we're almost there, right? I really think that we are almost there. As you can see, that this trend that we've just been respecting for many, many years, 2016 or 2015, up until where we are now, we have not tapped the trend just as yet. Okay, I would love to see ETH or the ETH to BTC come down here, tap the trend, find support inside of this box. Okay, also diagonal support, horizontal support. Remember what I said, when you have diagonal support and you have horizontal support inside there, it usually offers very strong support or resistance. And what we have over here is that we have horizontal support, we have diagonal support, and we have an additional diagonal support. We have so many things aligning over here. You have the channel, you have the trend, you have it just looks like this is a recipe for some magic to happen here to the downside. We just need to be a little bit more patient, because this is the weekly time frame and this can still take a week or two to play out for ETH to finally find the bottom over here, and it starts grinding here back to the upside, and ideally breaking finally the channel here to the upside. And then we're going to see that magic price action from Ethereum that we've all been waiting for. Ethereum just feels and looks and smells dead at the moment. It's not giving us that bull market vibes that we used to from Ethereum during the previous cycles. It's just lagging so behind Bitcoin at the moment, and perhaps this will be the magic moment for Ethereum. Okay, it's almost there. It's almost there. And if this is not going to be the low, I'm at least expecting a bounce over here. Definitely this is a bouncing area. So if this is a fake out, right, and you go and you tap the top of the channel again and you fall down, this move can still be very, very significant. Like this move over here, like these, you know, these upwards momentums were really significant for the price of Ethereum, and also the surrounding ecosystem, everything that's built on the Ethereum network. So whether this is the breakout or whether this is just another tap of the top of the channel, I want to play this momentum, okay, on the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, also price of Ethereum, I went through this morning, still tracking the trend here on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, it's just simple, you know. If you do not know what's going to happen over here, you do not know where to buy in, you're not familiar with swing failure patterns, you don't care about Fibonacci's, right? Just keep an eye on the trend. And so far, we're respecting this trend. And we've tapped it here to perfection, and we're currently getting a little bit of downwards momentum. So whether we swing failure from the lows over here, and we then break out, or whether we go down lower, we tap the top or the bottom of this channel over here, and then we break out, just keep an eye on the trend. Okay. I did buy a little bit of ETH over here in this zone when we had that bloodbath on the Monday. I bought some ETH over there. Okay, so would be nice to make a higher low for then the breakout to the upside. So there's a little bit of Ethereum analysis for everyone as well. Right, Atom. Now that looks like a better trend. I was waiting for the B point. I don't really enjoy trends like this. I don't enjoy trends like this, like I'm seeing on Bitcoin at the moment as well. Okay, I do like that I now have an A point. Okay, the top of the trend. And I do now like that this is a B point, a clear pivot where you can put your trend line. And this is why I would like to see a three-wave structure here from Bitcoin. Because I don't like just a fall like this here to the downside. I don't like these type of trends. Yes, they can be powerful, but I mean, if I can get this, then I'm going to say, now that is a beautiful trend. Because I have clear pivots. I have an A point and I can have a clear B point. Now I know that this trend is more valid than this little trend over here that just had multiple touches. You don't know if this is real or not real. And what I mean by that is, I mean, look at this trend over here. Okay, you can see clear pivots, bull flag over here. Okay, A point, B point, you break out by the C point. Also, yeah, choop. Okay, beautiful. Pivot, 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 you break out. Okay, there's just no clear pivots over here for a trend. And also when I look at the steepness, the degree, the angle degree of these trends over here, okay, it's just a little bit too steep. I would like it to have a better 45-degree angle, right? We don't always get what we want, and I know I'm nitpicking over here, but this is the things that I look for. Okay, when taking trades, how do you decide how much capital position you're going to trade? Okay, I will keep the answers to these questions during the end. I'm almost there, right? Mate, the bounce we have to reset the RSI, I suppose. That's time to sell your NAN. Okay, how's it, 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍, Mr. Clint? Thanks for joining the stream. Legends, what's up? Market M, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, so let's dive into a little bit of Q&A. So what I want to do over here is just put myself on full screen if I don't need the chart, okay? And let's answer some questions. I think there's some really good questions over here. So if you are an experienced trader, more than welcome to jump off the stream. And I encourage everyone, just ask me anything that you would like to answer or to ask, okay, from a trading perspective. So let's go through the first question. When taking trades, how do you decide how much capital position you are going to trade? So the rule of thumb from a trading perspective is to never risk more, especially when you're starting out, 1% of your capital. That means that if you have a $1,000 account, you need to risk, what, $10? And some people might say, but how am I supposed to make money if I'm only risking $10? Remember, you can still take the $10, okay, and apply 100x leverage to it. And that's why I always say leverage doesn't matter to me as long as you're risking 1% of your capital. So if you're entering a trade, okay, with $10 because you have a $1,000 account and you 50x or 20x or 100x the position, just make sure that you don't get liquidated where your validation is supposed to go, you will still stay profitable as a trader. So you can still significantly grow the account even by risking 1 or 2 or 3% of your capital. But I generally propose for traders starting out that you only risk 1% of your capital until you're comfortable with the process and you gain the experience. You've done this 100 times, you've done this 1,000 times, your profit margins are increasing, your losses, you're keeping your losses to the minimum. Then you can start going to 2%, 3%. I won't really recommend going above 3%, although I have seen some very experienced traders that will risk up to 5% of their capital, depending on the tick boxes that can be ticked from a trading perspective. Okay, so in other words, what you could also do is, what I like to say is that if your stop loss is 1% away, okay, which means you're going to lose 1% of your capital. This is another way to look at it. If your stop loss is 1% away, then it means, let me just do the calculations in my mind here quickly. It means that you can risk 100% of your capital at 1x leverage. Does that make sense? If your stop loss is 2% away, it means that you can risk 50% of your capital at 2x leverage. So you could also let the stop loss decide how much leverage you can use for the position. If your stop loss is 0.5% away, it means that you can use 100% of your capital at 2x leverage, so that when you get stopped out, you still only lose 1% of your capital. So there's different ways of looking at it. People look at the 1% thing of, I'm never going to be able to make money with $10 if I have a $1,000 account. Yes, you will, okay? You just need to be smart about it. So you can still trade with 100% of your capital. If your stop loss is 1% away and you get stopped out and you only lose 1% of your capital, you can still trade with 100% of your capital at 1x leverage. Okay, hope that makes sense, and I hope that answered your question. Right. Would you use the liquidation point as a SL considering the risk is so low? So from a liquidation perspective, I'll be honest with you guys. Liquidation plays with your mind, okay? Stay away from liquidation. So how do you recognize which coin has momentum? Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Let's just first answer this question. Liquidation. I like to say we never get liquidated. We always get stopped out. Firstly, the fees are much lower when you get stopped out, and I have seen on some exchanges when you get liquidated, you pay significant fees for that liquidation. Okay, especially if you still have capital available in your account and only the position gets liquidated, it does take a significant amount of fees. It also plays a psychological game, is that at least I planned my trade properly, I got stopped out and not liquidated. It really helps with the psychology of your mindset, not to say I have been liquidated 5 times versus I have been stopped out 5 times according to my plan. So I don't really prefer the liquidation as the stop loss, and purely from a psychology perspective, but also from a fee perspective. So always make sure that your liquidation is below your stop loss if you are trading with 1% or 3% of your capital maximum that I would recommend. Okay, so psychologically it makes sense to do that, and I always like to also preach and teach our legends traders in the Discord community that we don't get liquidated, we get stopped out. Okay, hope that answered your question. How do you recognize which coin has momentum to go up? Which indicators do you use? Thank you. Momentum, I think, has got all to do with volume, like what I've shared with on Fetch. So when you have momentum to the upside and it's supported by volume, there's a saying in trading that says, okay, often people will look for a coin that's not showing strength, expecting the breakout, okay? And then the coin like Fetch that's already broken out, they just throw it out the window because they missed the trade. I liked to go towards the coins that are showing strength, because the coins that's showing strength with a breakout and green volume supporting the momentum to the upside. So there's basically no indicators that I look at. I purely look at volume supporting the breakout to the upside. Okay, I will go onto that coin, I will zoom into the smaller time frames, and I will apply my one-line trend strategy that I always refer to. And there's also a video tutorial inside of my YouTube channel explaining the one-line trend strategy. And then I will keep on trading that coin to the upside because it has strength already. It is breaking out and there's momentum behind it, instead of waiting for a coin that hasn't broken out and it just stands still and it does nothing. So from a momentum perspective, it's not easy to identify, to say that, well, will the run continue for this coin? Okay, you just need to make sure that the breakout is successful, supported by volume, especially when you zoom out into the larger time frames as well, like the 4-hour and the 8-hour. If there's some nice green volume supporting the momentum to the upside, most likely momentum will still continue even with small little retracements along the way. So not really an easy answer to the question that you're asking, is that I like to focus, like for example Fetch. I know that there's a narrative around AI tokens at the moment. It's a buzzing word at the moment. This whole cycle so far has been around a focus on AI, and I can see that Render is showing strength, Fetch is showing strength, everything built around the AI ecosystem is showing strength, and they are breaking out more aggressive than all the other altcoins that is not AI related. So I mean, you need to do a little bit of research. You need to look at the breakout on Fetch that I've just shown you, for example, supported by green volume and momentum. And then, I mean, you've seen now with Fetch, Bitcoin is falling to the downside and Fetch is breaking to the upside. So that's also a sign of strength, is Bitcoin is doing one thing and the altcoin is going completely in the different direction. So that could also be a sign of strength. Right. Do you long? Just joined. Do what long? Just joined. Right, legends, 2 likes away from 50. Let's get this smash going. Yes, smash up the like for the education. Let's keep it educational, conversational. Let me know if you have any other questions. How do you recognize? Okay, we've gone through that. if we're taking the last low at 49k, what is your max pain price to bounce back up? Okay, let's jump back here onto the chart quickly. Right, let's just go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. Okay, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. We can jump back into the Q&A section. I think once a week, at least once a week, what I would like to do is just open up the floor for Q&A, and I will go through as many questions as I possibly can. So if you do have a question that you think about that you haven't asked in this session, I will dedicate at least one live stream every week for proper Q&A where you can ask me anything you want. And I might not always have all the answers because I don't know everything. And if you do ask something interesting, I will go and do research and I will get back to you. Okay, I don't mind learning new things because even as a trader today, I still learn. Okay, you never stop learning as a human being. And if you think that you know it all, right? The market is here to humble you. Okay, so wait, let me just go through that again. 𝗬𝗍, if we are taking the last low at 49k, yes, the last low at 49k, right? You mean this level over here, okay? What is your max pain price to bounce back up? That is a really good question. Okay, let me switch off some stuff and let's go on to, I need the daily time frame for this. Right, so there are, I don't want to say there are two levels that I'm watching, but let's just look at this structure over here and let me go and switch on, like I discussed yesterday, a bullish scenario, a conservative bullish scenario here to the upside. So what I would like to see for this structure to still remain intact, this is where it becomes very interesting, and I don't often talk about it because it does confuse a lot of people, is that according to the linear chart, okay, we have hit the maximum target for a fourth wave. But if I go on to logarithmic, okay, we are still a little bit further away. So the maximum target that I would like for us to hit and not go past that level is $42,943. That is the maximum target that I would not want us to see break, okay? And so if we do come down here, and this is maybe that WXY, and we are going to come and claim the low once again, I would like us to find support at the 50% FIB level at $42,000, right? It can wick down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do not want us to come and tap the 0.618 because that will invalidate a fourth wave, and then it is something else. And there are something else's that I have here inside of my charts that I will share if we do hit those levels. But $42,000 is the level that I'm eyeing, and there's also a point of control in the middle of this consolidation area that can definitely provide support. Okay, so I hope I've answered your question over there. Okay, but I mean from a regular scale perspective, we have hit the maximum target already. Most traders, I would say 90% of the traders out there don't use the log scale. They only use the linear scale to do their analysis. So potentially the low is in if you look at the regular scale or the linear scale as they refer to it. But from a log perspective, I would, we can still come down here to $42,000. Which is actually below the 618 over here. So I can just imagine the fear. We come back down, we hit the 618. Some people think that the fourth wave has been invalidated, but then when you go onto logarithmic, we only tap the 0.5% FIB. Okay. Squeaky bum, time when you get to 42k range. Yes, I know, Mr. Sin Games, you are eyeing this level, right? You are eyeing this level. And this is most probably, I think, where a lot of people are going to trade in their wives, sell their houses, and buy tents and buy Bitcoin in this region over here, okay? It would, ideally what you would like to see is for price to still consolidate sideways, and then bounce here on this trend, this trend that we have not. Okay, well, I need to fix it over here, actually. Okay, to bounce on this trend, together with a 50%. Okay, we have not tapped this trend on the lock scale since we had the start of the bull market here to the downside. So it would be nice to come back down home. Okay, but I just have to remind you, this could be the low for now. But, okay, this would look nice. You tap the 50%, you bounce here on the trend, you have a little bit of a fake out, scaring the crap out of everyone. Nice horizontal support, and then we go and complete the fifth wave here to the upside. Okay, where you then have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go into the next bear market. What's up, legends? Share the love and smash the like button. Yes, smash the like button for the education over here. Also, remember, if you'd like to come and trade with me, links for all the exchanges down in the description. You guys know where to find it. And right, that is basically what I wanted to share with everyone here today. Hello, legends. Hi, devil. Please tell me how many transactions with Bitcoin do you make on average per month? Transactions there's no set number. Okay, sometimes I take 1 trade a day, sometimes I take 2 trades a week, sometimes I take 2 trades a day. It really depends on what the price action is giving me at the moment. Okay, when price is aggressive to the upside and there's lots of little small bull flags that I can trade, and I can, it just continues momentum, it builds a small little bull flag, it continues momentum, I can get into as much as 3 trades a day. I prefer, to be honest with you guys, my strength lies in the 1 hour and 15-minute time frames. That is where I make most of my money, is in the 1 hour and 15-minute time frames. And if I had to jump into the 1-minute time frame, I could most probably place 10 or 20 trades a day. It's just not my style of trading. Okay, I like a little bit bigger momentums to the up and to the downside. So it really depends, but I would say maybe on average I place about 3 trades, 4 trades a week. Okay, on average. Right, hope that helps. Cool. Legends, thank you so much for joining. As always, smash up the like on your way out. I hope you guys found value in this live stream. I will do a little bit more of these where we do Q&A at least once a week. And that's it for today. And until the next one, cheers for now.